So this is why long-term nurturing is uh, not a good strategy, right? A lot of people think that they'll have just a lot of leads for, let's say, long term, and they'll keep on nurturing these leads for a longer run. And they think that in the, let's say, 3 months down the line, or 6 months down the line, or let's say after 1 year, um, some of these people might convert. When it just cannot happen, right? Why? Because this is the attention graph, let's say, in front of you, right? Now a normal user is, let's say, his graph is like this, and suddenly he discovers you online and the graph goes up. What he does is he starts binge watching, right? So this graph goes up. After a certain point, it reaches its peak. This is where they make a buying decision. If they feel whatever you're offering is logically aligned with what they need, they'll make a buying decision here. But if they go past this point here, the attention span again will drop, and maybe it will shift to something else, right? This graph is just to explain you. I'm not naming any of these axes here. It's just to explain the concept here. But the moment is, you can only acquire that attention, or let's say ascend that attention at this particular point. If the graph goes past that point, you would not be able to convert that attention into sales, right? That is why you should not focus on list. List is the biggest myth in the market. I mean, you should have a list for sure, right? But the notion that having a list can bring you more and more sales in the longer run is completely a myth. Why? Not a list. You shouldn't focus on a list. You should actually focus on what I call as binge, right? Because what happens is, the moment your prospects, the moment your audiences discover you on the internet, they start binging your content, right? They start binging your content. They start going through your newsletters for a while. Let's say, how many times? I'll just ask you one simple question, and this happened with me as well. I'll just ask you one thing. Try to think about the point when you discovered Alex Hormozy on the internet. Let's say, try to think about a point where you discovered whatever you bought recently. Let's say you must have bought any course online. Think about the sales process. What happened exactly? You discovered that particular author, or you discovered that particular person online. Suddenly your interest got piqued. You started binge watching their videos for some time, and within a few weeks, let's say 7 days or 14 days, you ended up purchasing that particular course, right? But the same thing happened with a lot of authors as well. In some cases, the interest peaked for sure. You started binge watching their content, but it didn't end up becoming a sale, right? And that is why you need to understand, when they are binge watching your content, that is the point when they reach your peak. And that is again, if the graph goes past that peak point, you lose that sale. Yeah. So for the next time, keep this in mind. Do not over focus on list building, but actually binge building, if you want to call it, right? I'll see you in the next one.